Okay. Yeah, we're all going to look around and see if this is actually working or not, right?
Yeah, it's
Greg,
on.
yeah, Greg and I, when we recorded we did an episode, kind of a test run with this month ago or so, Greg, I was like, we went and hit record. I was like, yeah, I think it's working.
That's always the best. I remember the first live stream I ever did. It was like 10 seconds of me just sitting there like this.
Yeah, just because it all looks the same.
And it's all streaming.
Right. And it's all going live. So, hey, everybody, welcome. This is actually just going to be a collaboration between the RichMind podcast and the All In Mindset podcast. Greg, Justin, and I, we've both been on each other's podcast as guests. And every time we get together, we just have a lot of fun, a lot of conversation. We learn so much. We all have different areas of what I would call expertise, but we all have similar ideas and similar values and similar goals that I think will be very valuable to those of you who show up live. Great. Those of you who catch the recording, that's fine as well. I'm sure we will probably use a lot of this content in chopped up pieces for our own separate podcast. But it was just an idea that I had about a month ago. Justin shared a word with me. And I think Greg was on that call too, about collaboration. And that resonated with me so much at that moment that I just kept saying that over to myself, is how could we collaborate and do something that would benefit a lot of people? And so I threw this out to the guys and they said, yeah, let's give it a shot. So here we are today, through fumbling around a little bit with some software. It looks like, yeah, I see check marks, which it says we're live. So welcome for those of you who are joining us live. But today, just want to give you a little bit of color as far as who we are, where we're coming from. As I mentioned, I'm Randy Wilson. I'm the host of the RichMind podcast, and I'm all about personal freedom. So my biggest thing that I really try to stand for is that if folks take personal responsibility for their money and their mind, then they can create the life that they truly desire. And it doesn't have to be what's been fed to us as we've been growing up through our current systems. So once again, I know Greg and Justin have similar messages, and I wanted to throw it over to them and have them introduce themselves as well. And then we'll see where this conversation goes today. We've got about an hour. Whether it takes an hour or not remains to be seen. But at the same time, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So Greg, Justin, man, welcome, guys. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I agree. I've been looking forward to this. It's been a long time since I've gone live. There's always the extra added kind of anxiety and stress of being live until you realize, like, it doesn't really matter. We're just regular people talking here.
So we've done episodes, right? Or we record episodes and we do those in video. So it's almost the same. To me, I was having
almost
with my wife. Almost the same.
I can go back and edit out all the crap that I didn't mean to say when I'm recording live, man. Like, it's out there. I mean, I guess I could go back and remove it if I say something that's really damning, but I don't think I'll fall into that trap today.
Choose your words carefully.
Very carefully.
That's right. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, like I said, guys, I just appreciate you being willing to join me. I've been looking forward to this as well, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll continue as far as whether we're getting some positive feedback, if we're enjoying the process. I just love creating the content. I just love the conversations, the friendships, the collaborations. Like I said, that was the word that really drew this to me with you guys, and you shared that with me, Justin.
Yeah.
Back when we were doing the podcast interview for your episode. So
yeah,
just glad you're here.
Well, yeah, and that's also one of those things. Like, obviously, Greg and I do a podcast together, so we get to bounce ideas off of one another all of the time. You, up until recently, I think, were mostly in the solo world, so you get to interview people. So I'm sure you experienced this when you were interviewing people as well, though, is you get so many new insights and great ideas from those interviews and from those collaborations. I just recently experienced like this exponential growth because I collaborated with someone else who had a larger audience than myself. And why not leverage one another? If you're all in it for the same mission, it's not competition, it's collaboration.
And that's exactly how you phrased it back then, instead of competition and collaboration. So if we have similar messages, similar ideas, why don't we come on in here and share them together, which is exactly why we're here.
Yeah.
So tell everybody the all-in mindset. So Tell me about that with you guys. I'm familiar with it, but those that might not be, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Where that even came about, right? Because you guys, I've met Greg in person, but Justin, you and I honestly haven't met in person. I don't think you and Greg have met in person.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier today. Like, this is as close as Greg and I have gotten. But that's all going to change here in the next 2 weeks. I'll be down in Florida, literally probably like 40 minutes south of Greg. And so Tracy, my wife, and I, and Greg and his wife, Mandy, will all be going out to a Peruvian restaurant, eating a lot of meat till we get the meat sweats. But yeah, the short version of how we connected was Greg reached out to me. He said he was interested in starting a podcast, and he was looking for someone who was like-minded, also interested in the kind of personal development space. And so we kind of kicked the idea back and forth for about a month, finally arrived on an idea of, there's lots of personal development podcasts out there, but there aren't a ton out there that are really geared towards people who are new to the personal development space. And so since we're both relatively new, at least I feel like I'm a constant beginner in all these different areas of my life, where it's like, let's just share our experiences, what's working for us, what's not working for us, and people out there will probably resonate with our message. And so that's the very condensed version of how the All In Mindset podcast came to being.
Yep. And then the other part of that story, the longer version, is I actually reached out to another gentleman before Justin, and he was in Justin's space, nutrition, fitness coach, because that's an area that, I wanted, or I'm getting into and learning a lot about personally. Well, that first gentleman, after, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 direct messages on Facebook, he just stopped talking to me. He ghosted me, and I was like, oh, like this is new to me, or, it was just a weird feeling. And then somehow I ran across Justin. We were Facebook friends, but that doesn't really mean that you know somebody. So I messaged him and, kind of found out what he was doing and his story and all that stuff. And then, Justin hasn't ghosted me since. So we're pretty good.
Not yet. Not yet.
I'm waiting for it, but not yet.
I reschedule a lot because of crazy stuff, but I haven't ghosted you entirely just yet. No, I would never ghost anybody. I think I'm like, punctuality and commitments are 2 of my big things. So anytime somebody's late or doesn't even show up, all that really rubs me the wrong way.
Understood. 100%.
Yeah.
So that's where the people part, right? That's where you guys having that communication or that collaboration together, but then brought the 3 of us together, really, in reality, that's why it's super cool. So yeah, the personal development piece is probably a big passion of mine, right? I talk about financial education and the personal development, but the personal development piece, right? Without that, it's, once you get it, catch the bug, catch the ideas that are being thrown around, and really start implementing some of those things into your life, you can really start seeing some exponential gains. And then the people that you meet, the places that you'll go, the live streams that you'll be on, you just never know.
Isn't that a Dr. Seuss book?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that like Cat in the Hat right there? The places you'll go.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was he just threw in Dr. Seuss.
Yeah,
I
look
had
at
no
that.
idea.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. That's awesome. So I just know that we have, like I said, different experiences. We've obviously launched a couple of podcasts. We can go into detail on episodes in the future, or whether we go live stream in the future about. People might have questions about launching podcasts. I know, Justin, you're actively building a YouTube channel, which I know that's a very popular topic. I'm building one, but I'm not building it to the level that you are even at this point. But at the same time, we learn from each other with that. And that's where it's super fun as well.
Yeah. Well, and you bring up a good point. I mean, I think there's probably people in both of our Facebook friend groups here that they might be looking to build a podcast or build a YouTube channel. How has building your podcast been going for you?
The process has actually been, simple is not the right word, but it's gone relatively smooth, meaning it's not been difficult. Once you learn the different pieces of software that you need, a little bit of editing. Actually, you helped me with that, to be honest with you, Justin, a little bit with the editing process. I did have someone helping me at the very beginning, which was nice. I didn't have a lot of the extra work to do in the background. But I have since then brought that in-house, and it's not added a lot of work. It has added work, so don't let me make it sound like it's not
doing a podcast is nothing, man. You just hit record and it's done.
Piece of cake, hit record, and hit a button and it's uploaded, right? So it's not that easy, but it's been a lot of fun. I love this. Yeah. So the interviews has been the best part for me. As you mentioned at the very beginning, I was trying to do a lot of solo things, and those were okay, but I didn't enjoy that as much. It was starting to become a work, and I enjoy the collaboration there again, the getting together, the interview process, getting to know someone at a deeper level, having them open up in a way that maybe they wouldn't have in a normal situation. And that's, to me, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun.
Well, have you noticed too, like the difference between doing the solo content creation versus doing the interviews is you almost don't have to try. This is going to sound really weird for anybody watching. If you hear this and think I'm weird, that's fine. You can leave me a comment, but you almost don't have to try to be yourself as much when you're interacting with other people. It just comes out naturally. Whereas when you create content, you're like, okay, how do I get people to pay attention to this? It's just me creating. It's like, okay, now I've got to be myself ×2 so that it's not just educational, but my personality also comes out as well. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I was going to say to that point, I think when you're interviewing somebody, you're trying to pull information out of them, the information that you know that they have. And then on the flip side, when you're doing a solo, you're pushing the information. So you're really cognizant of like, am I saying the right thing? Am I driving the point home? So you're really more in your head. So there's like that push-pull element from interviewing to solo.
That's good. That's such a good insight. How do you come up with these, Greg?
I don't know. That's like a mic drop. I think I'm done.
Yeah, you're done. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I was going to say, like, I'm always in my head, no matter what, even if it's interview or not. Like right now I'm in my head. I'm like, should I be clicking to make Greg big right now? What will people think when Greg's head just pops up big?
But that's why I gave you control of the controls.
Yeah, so I can overthink it.
That's right. That's why I get to sit here and just enjoy myself, and you can overthink the controls.
Yeah, that's funny.
But for me, I don't know why, but I've discovered I've got the ability to, when I'm having a conversation like what we're doing right here, to craft a question, like the next question I'm crafting in my mind while that person is still talking or giving us their answer, but I'm still able to pay attention. I don't know how or where I've gotten that from. I don't know if I honestly don't know, but I like that. So I enjoy having a conversation, listening, but then crafting a question. That way I can come right back at them, right? Once again, it's very conversational. It's not scripted.
Yeah.
I know I have questions that I ask folks, but yeah.
Both of you guys are really good at that. And I'll self-admittedly, I'm not very good. Like, I'm like, here are my questions. Let me get them out. But I noticed that like Randy and Justin, like you guys are both like, oh, you just said something really cool. Let me ask you this question. And I'm like, how do you listen and then create that question and then come back? Like, I just totally get like sidetracked.
I have to write notes. I have to, man, because I literally don't, like, even in this conversation right now, I don't remember what we were talking about 2 minutes ago. I'm not even joking. I know it sounds like I'm trying to be funny, but I'm not, man. I have no idea. I have no idea what we were talking about 2 minutes ago. But yeah, if somebody says something interesting, I just write a little note that'll remind me of, oh yeah, I wanted to touch on this point here because I think we could like tease it out a little bit more.
Interesting. See, I don't notes.
Awesome.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't say that I probably get it perfect every time, right? The right question at the right time or anything like that. But at the same time, it comes relatively natural, which is fun. It's a lot of fun. I tell everybody I do an interview with how much I enjoy the process of doing that. So I didn't know that I was going to enjoy that. So you asked me how it was going with the podcast. I'm learning as I go. I'm about 75, almost 80 episodes in now, started in April.
Nice.
And I'm getting better, right? Just like everything. If you, as you practice, as you do it more, you become better and better at it. I'm not perfect at it by any means, but at the same time, I'm enjoying the evolution of it, right? Trying to figure out how to craft the message better. When you're posting it to social, right? To YouTube or whatever, I'm trying to figure that out, right? So I watch your things, Justin, and I learned a lot from you when it comes to the YouTube piece. But the process itself has been a lot of fun. Has it been the same way with you guys?
Yeah. I was thinking about this over the last couple of days with the podcast that we do. The podcast that Greg and I do is a lot of fun. It's not a ton of work. And then I start, I've got this weird thing going on, like, but it could be a lot of work. Maybe I'm not working hard enough at it. Because, I mean, building up the podcast, just like building up my YouTube channel, is the same as building up my business. Like, it is a business. And so it requires a certain level of focus and dedication and care if you want to do it more quickly or really well. So I struggle with that, but definitely we've been getting better at just like this, having a conversation, getting more comfortable on camera. There's such a big learning curve when it comes to starting a project, especially on video, because a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, myself, for example, like 2 years ago, I didn't even want to be on a camera. I hate the sound of my voice. I hate the way that I look. People are going to make fun of me. And, you, like you said, you put in the reps to the extent that now it's like somebody could leave me a hate comment and it really isn't going to mess me up anymore, because what does Taylor Swift say? Haters gonna hate, I can't believe I just quoted Taylor. We have to take this video down now. I don't want that out there. I don't want that out there. I'm ashamed.
Edit that out of this live stream.
But yeah, Greg, how about for you? Like, how has the experience been for you?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, like you said. I don't feel like it's work. But yeah, same thing. I, never really did video, and I was one of those people that didn't do video for a reason, because A, I didn't have to, and then B, I didn't want to be on video out of my comfort zone. And like you said, now it's just, it is what it is. It's part of doing the podcast. And, and at the end of the day, like, yeah, who really cares? Like, nobody's going to be picking us apart or anything, or leaving comments. If they leave a comment, whatever. So it kind of got me over that fear really quickly of, yeah, I can hop on here and I might not like my voice. I might not like my background or whatever that is, but who cares? I'm having fun with my friends and putting out some good podcasts and interviewing some cool people, and just going back to that experience thing that Randy mentioned earlier. That's the fun part.
Yeah. Can you talk about your background? Remember the background I had in Tennessee? I was just editing that episode yesterday. I'm like, it looks so bad. Like, it looked like I built a box out of particle board and I'm standing inside of it.
It looks like a Unabomber's house.
It is terrible. Yes, it looks like I'm on my way to jail very soon. But it doesn't matter.
That's going to be one of our best rated episodes, I'm sure.
Probably,
yeah. You see that guy's background?
This guy does podcasts inside of a particle board box.
Like, if this guy can do it, I'm pretty sure I can do
it. Yeah, for real. For real.
So that's part of it, right? The encouragement of folks to realize that they can. I was having a conversation with my wife over lunch here today, that you just have to get over the fear of I've got a little white light in front of me right here on the camera, and it's live, right? You just have to get over that fear of hitting go and being okay with what comes out, right?
Yeah.
What you look like, what you sound like, you just, after you do it a while, you just kind of get over those things. But yeah, just the encouragement to do that. And that's doing this with you guys. We're doing this once, and we're going to be able to replicate it in so many different ways, whether it's video, whether it's audio, I'm all about doing things as few times as possible, but then chopping it up and using it in different pieces.
Yeah.
And video gives you so many options because of all the different, whether it's YouTube or TikTok or Facebook or whatever the social platform is. But then you do have the audio. You can strip that audio and use that as a podcast as well, which, once again, it's the amount that you can get if you get yourself confident enough to go live on camera. And live being, it can just be a recording. If you don't like it, hit delete. There's many times I just hit delete.
Yep.
And it's okay. Whereas this is live, guys. Hello. What were we thinking?
Well, yeah, and just for what it's worth, if anybody's watching this and they're like, I would go live, I'm waiting for that confidence. I had zero confidence to go live when I first did it. Like, I was terrified. I was like sweating through my chair, and yeah, it was really bad. I took that video down eventually, but I still have it because it's good to go back and look at it and be like, oh man, Oh, it's horrible. But I've gotten so much better. Like you say, you put in the reps, it doesn't phase you anymore. But you got to start somewhere. If you don't start somewhere, that goes without saying. You never start. You never get any better.
Just takes practice.
Yeah.
I started a channel back in 2010, back when YouTube and all that was just getting started.
Oh yeah, you should have rolled with it, man. You'd be huge right now.
Well, that's why I keep telling myself, no matter what, I just have to keep going today, right? Because I stopped because I didn't know what I was doing. My background, like you said, I had a black sheet as my background. The lights were terrible. It was just bad, and it's still out there. If somebody searched for it, you'd find
I'm gonna go find it.
You can. Yeah. It's your focused vision.
What was the channel? What was the channel talking about and topic?
It was just personal development type things back.
Oh,
in
it was
the day,
okay.
right?
So similar.
Yeah. So I was just trying to figure it out. But the point is that I was trying, but I allowed the doubts to shut me down. And if I just would have kept going, even if I kept pivoting, I just would have been so much further ahead. Justin, you know that. I mean, with everything you're doing, right? You just never know.
Yeah.
Who's listening? Who might be listening? So just the encouragement to just give it a shot. It's not going to hurt for sure.
Well, and it's like that thing that we hear all of the time in the circles that we run with. A lot of people say, like, you're one person away from the next level. And it's like that with your podcast. It's like that with YouTube. You're one video away. You're one podcast away. Like, the next one literally could be exponential and take you to this next level. And then, of course, you have to deal with the repercussions of that. It's like, oh, crap. Now I've got a bunch of people following me. I better keep putting out decent content for these people. But that's what we do it for, Yeah,
and hopefully with your entire message from the beginning, obviously resonates with yourself, right? So it's not as you continue to grow, you don't have to do a total 180 or 360, right? You just continue to keep doing more and more and more, meet different guys or gals or folks, right? And just keep trying to do the collaboration and try to figure out how you can just keep adding as much value as you possibly can to as many people as you can.
Yeah.
It's been
fun. The fun part.
So when you guys got started, so I'm trying to think in my mind, if someone was like, okay, I want to start a podcast, whether it's 2023, you can set a goal for 2024. What were some of the initial first steps? I know you and I both, or your podcast and mine, we host them on separate different platforms. We can kind of go into those kinds of things if you want to give some folks that are watching or listening, right, some practical, tactical things that they can actually go look into if they're interested in such a thing.
Yeah, Greg, I'll let you take this one simply because I had a little bit more experience on camera and whatnot. So I think if somebody's brand new, you might be able to give them a little bit more insight into, I alluded to the fact that there's a bunch of different things that you have to take into consideration, but why don't you explain what your experience was starting that up?
Yeah, I was going to come from a different angle for that question, but my first question that I asked myself is, do I want to do this by myself or do I want to do this with somebody else who, like Justin said, might have a little bit more experience, more camera time, that kind of thing. And, being from 43, even in, the business, real estate investing, I'd much rather work with somebody else, whether they're 10 steps above me or 2 steps below me. It doesn't matter. Just having that person to, I ask Justin all the time, I'm like, hey, is this a good idea or is this a stupid idea? And I'll just throw it out there.
No, I don't know. Let's find out.
Exactly. Let's try it out. But if it was me, just by myself, I would stew about it. I would go back and forth. I probably wouldn't do it because it would just fall by the wayside. And I would have those doubts and be like, nah, it's probably a stupid idea. So I don't want to do that. So for me, that was one of the first things is, I'd rather work with somebody than be a lone wolf. And then it's, who do you want to work with? What does that person look like? What qualities do they have, et cetera? So that's one thing that I would probably push out to, our listeners, whether it's like we're talking about a podcast or starting a business or a side hustle, whether you want to do it by yourself or somebody else, and then what that looks like, what that person looks like if you want to do it with somebody else.
Love it. Yeah, one thing that was encouraged me when I first got started was to make a list of as many as you could come up with, but at least 50 topics that you could discuss. And you would probably throw in some interviews in there as well, right? But a list of 50 if you're going to do solo. So because that's what I started at, right? Was doing a lot of solo episodes. 50 topics that you could feel comfortable with going in as short as 5 minutes and as long as a half an hour that you could confidently speak to. That was one of the biggest things that somebody shared that with me from the very beginning. That was very helpful in my beginning process for sure.
Yeah, there's so many different components of it, and it's funny now being, what are we, 6 months in, both Greg and I and you, looking back on it and be like, oh yeah, we did kind of hustle and grind there to get things up and running. There was a lot of little pieces that had to come together. But yeah, like building the Excel sheet of like, okay, what are our running list of topics? Then, of course, starting to record some of those, then editing them. Okay, now where are we hosting these? What platform are we using to put them out to? That, and then all the little details, the logos, the branding. Yeah, there's a lot, but I don't want it to overwhelm anyone. It's nothing that, like Greg and I say this, like, if we can do it, anybody can do it. You know, I just told you like 10 minutes ago that I can't remember what we were talking about 2 minutes ago. If I can do it, like, you can do it. You just got to start.
You just got to start. So it's even, so the hosting platform, those are a couple things. I know you guys use a different one than I use. I'm currently on podbean.com. And I don't even know what your guys' is called, to be honest with you, but I know it's different than mine.
Yeah. So we use Libsyn, and it's probably very similar. And that's actually the easiest part of the entire podcasting process is dropping that into the platform, putting the title in the description. Like, it literally pushes it out to all of the major podcast hosts, you know, Spotify, up until last month, Greg's favorite, which was, it's blanking on me now because it's gone.
Oh, Stitcher. Yeah.
Stitcher's gone. Yeah.
Close their doors.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But so you just never know. But yeah, then like you said, the logo, I just created everything in Canva for myself. I assume you guys did the same. You could hire those things out, or you can do it. I enjoy the artwork for myself, so I kind of did that myself.
Yeah.
And then deciding to shoot the video. So I've got the little mic or camera here on top, and then the mic here. Just basic stuff. It doesn't take a whole lot. So if anybody's listening or watching that would like a little bit more detailed about that type of thing that we can possibly share with you as far as what we're using and what we've had success with, yeah, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to try to help you in the way we can.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Have you on as a guest.
So that's part of it as well, right? So when we go live, if any of you have questions, if anybody watching has questions, I believe that there are ways for folks to do that. If I'm not mistaken, Justin, you probably have, I think you have more live streaming experience than I do. So
yeah, I should see if any comments pop up from any of the platforms that we're streaming to, they should pop up right here. We can test that out.
I hope to bring on some friends.
Also, I was going to say, I'm on Facebook right now, and I know there's a few comments on.
I haven't seen anything come through.
Oh wait. Nope.
Yeah, so it's on. There's a few comments on mine, but I don't see them in StreamYard.
Some destinations won't get comments. That's weird.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to.
It says they should be coming through, but yeah. I don't know why there's not comments. Maybe I'm in the wrong thing. You two, I'm going to do this fancy thing.
Yeah.
Where
Get yourself centered up.
Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. People tuning in and be like, what is this idiot doing? Okay, YouTube chat. It's just going to be me looking at the computer here for a second while I figure out these technical things. There should be a way that I can figure it out.
All right, cool. So we got our tech guy on it. We're good.
Yeah. Figure that out, Justin, would you?
Figuring it out.
Good deal.
Yeah, that's crazy that you launched. We both actually launched in April. And I think we're at like 51 episodes, but you front loaded a lot of your episodes. So you're at like 75, 80, you said?
Yeah, I think I was looking at it today. I think I'm getting ready to launch 78, I think is the next episode, which will be tomorrow. And I've been doing 3 a week. I had a little bit of a lull there where I was only doing 1. But that's kind of part of it as well, right? The ebb and flow, you can do as many or as few as you want. Try to keep some kind of a cadence, but at the same time, it can definitely change and be different, whatever fits your personality or whatever, what's going on. But yeah, I did front load. So that was one thing that was shared with me from the beginning as well, is that they said to literally front load. If you can get 50 topics or more that you're confident with, and if you can get some interviews stacked up, get those out there as quick as you possibly can. So there again, it's all algorithms, and it's all, you know what I mean? It's all the softwares and all the stuff. So if you can get your name, get the names of the guests that you're having, all the things out there on the internet, it gives you more of a chance to be seen, to be found. And so I took that to heart. And yeah, I think I did 2 episodes a day for the first 2 weeks. So not including weekends. So it was 10 episodes a week for the first 2 weeks is what I did. And then I moved back to just doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which has been, it's been good. Like I said, I had a little bit of a lull there. I think in July, I think I took a little bit of a pivot, but yeah, all in all, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
About 50.
Yeah, I think we're in the low 50s right now. So that's the cool part about it. You can kind of, like you said, create your own cadence and all that kind of stuff. So
that's awesome. Now I'm seeing some comments show up. Is that you,
there
Justin, doing that?
There we go.
So
Uncle
one of my
TT.
buddies on Facebook, he said StreamYard doesn't always push comments out. It's weird. So it might be something on StreamYards.
Do you know Michael Hushy?
I do not.
Okay.
Whatever Uncle T is.
I'm gonna
He's blowing at us.
Put him in timeout. Put him in timeout.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
It's all good.
That's funny.
So yeah,
we'll figure it out.
We will figure it out. So that's kind of the whole idea, is I just wanted to come on here and collaborate with you guys as much as you possibly can. So anything YouTube related, I know, Justin, you're kind of living a little bit of a nomadic life, meaning you don't have a permanent residence. You are literally traveling all over the country.
I am.
And I know you, like you mentioned earlier, as far as your background changes in your different videos and things, it's because you're changing locations.
Yeah.
Is it every 2 weeks?
No, so most of the time it's every month. So my wife and I, we do month-long Airbnb stays in different states. Last month was every 5 days because we didn't have anything booked for 3 weeks. So we just bopped around it was between 3 to 7 days between different stays. And that was fun. I mean, just like anything, it's got its pros and cons. Like unpacking and repacking every 5 days kind of sucks, but changing up the scenery and getting to see a bunch of things that we wouldn't otherwise have been able to see, 2 years ago was pretty sweet. But yeah, mostly month to month Airbnb stays.
And you started in Pennsylvania, or you
started in Pennsylvania, went up to Maine, went to New Hampshire and then to Maine, then down to Maryland, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, Georgia, and then I was supposed to go to Florida, but we'll get to Florida here on Saturday or Sunday.
And where are you at today?
Right now I'm in Pennsylvania, so we had to come back here.
You're still back in? Okay,
yeah.
I didn't realize. Okay, I thought you were moved on from Pennsylvania.
On Saturday, moving on from Pennsylvania.
And headed back down to Florida, or headed to
Florida? Yep. I'll drive partway on Saturday and then get to Sarasota probably Sunday night. Tracy's going to be really mad at me that I said where we're going, but Sarasota's a big city. If you can find me, come find me.
So is it getting old doing that yet? Because you've been, 3 or 4 months doing it so far? Maybe even more.
Yeah, since April. No, it hasn't gotten old. It's always an adjustment getting to the new location because, I mean, for example, when we were in Tennessee, like I said, I didn't have a great recording setup, but it is what it is. You just kind of, do what you can with what you've got and just know that it's not permanent. So no, I haven't gotten sick of it yet. I'll let you know if I do get sick of it though. I'm the type of person, I get bored really easily. So changing up my environment is a really simple way to keep myself entertained, to keep things new.
But speaking of recording and things, right? Because I know you guys are recording every week or trying to every week. How hard is it to then move your stuff, your mics, your cameras, your background, right? I know you have some uplighting there.
Yeah.
Is that, what's that like for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, so if you go to my YouTube channel, like my videos aren't going to be as crisp and beautiful as someone else who's got a recording YouTube studio. But I still, like I said, make the best with what I have, make do with what I've got. So everything that I bring to record fits all inside of one backpack. So I've got like a key light here, this extra light here, this folds down into nothing, microphone comes. It's a hot mess when it's all put together of cords, but it's not too tough to break down, put back together.
Do you have a desk? Are you sitting at? Is that what you attach everything to?
Oh man, I should do.
My mic attaches to a desk.
Yeah,
because I've got the same kind of similar boom that you've got. So.
Yeah, actually, yours looks exactly the same. Did you steal my boom?
I think I did.
Yeah, you'd be amazed what I hook it up to. Right now, it's hooked up to a card table, which is why my hands are back. Why I'm sitting so far back, because if I take my finger and just poke here, the whole thing shakes because it's just a card table. But I've hooked it up to kitchen countertops and sofa, coffee tables, like, yeah.
So does yours clamp on the far end? Is that what yours does? We might have the exact same mic.
Probably Amazon.
Yeah, I bought it on Amazon. Yeah. And when I first started the podcast, I kind of ran a test by my audio guy. He goes, "Yeah, you sound great." I'm like, "Cool. I don't need to do anything more." I wasn't sure, right? Because you don't know.
Yeah.
You always think that you have to get the most expensive thing in the wide world, and there again, it's not necessarily the case.
No. I mean, once you get above like 150, the changes aren't that noticeable anyhow.
Well, what you said, yours isn't quite as crisp or as clean as some of these. What pieces are you missing?
My actual camera itself is not like that. And I mean, if you look at like the people who have YouTube studios, lighting is key. And I'm not able to do the things with my lighting because then I'd literally be packing a bunch of crap, like accent lights and something above my head to kind of make it so there's background lighting. So I've just kind of rigged this setup together. So you always see kind of like the blue in the background because it makes it look a little cooler. But this idiot. All right, he's gone for good now.
Banned. Our first guy banned. That didn't take long.
That's funny.
He's blowing up your YouTube channel.
It's all good. Hey, we'll see what happens.
No, it's a good thing. He's giving you all these comments.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Don't know what they mean, but hey, we're good with it.
Yeah, I know.
That's cool. Well, I just wanted to kind of point that out for folks, like kind of what we were talking about, that it doesn't have to take, number one, a lot of money. And it doesn't have to take this big studio, and it doesn't take a lot of things. Just some basic equipment can really get you started. And that's been my experience anyways. So that's why I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah. Well, and if you're going the podcast route, I mean, you got to decide, do you also want to purpose it as a video podcast, which is kind of, in my honest opinion, a whole nother beast, because people that are coming to watch video, it's different. It's a different type of draw, and therefore a different type of audience than people who are just listening to a podcast. So if you just want to go strictly podcast, all you need is a good mic. Like, you just need a decent mic so it doesn't sound like you're underwater, so that people, when they hear it, are like, okay, I could listen to this for an hour, and you'd be good to go.
Yeah, basically just straight to your phone. You really could, or to your computer for sure. If you had a laptop.
Yeah, the new Mac, I noticed one time I recorded a video when I was in Maine, and I didn't realize my mic had just shut off for some reason. And I recorded the whole video just not even through the microphone here. It was just on the microphone on my new Mac computer, and it actually sounded really good. I was impressed. I'm like, man, I spent all this money on this microphone. I could just be recording right on my Mac. It sounds a little echoey, but it's still like really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Well, one thing I want to ask you, Justin, about the nomad lifestyle, because it's funny, we're kind of opposite in that respect. Like, I need my home base for routines and structure. And even when I go on vacation, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get back home so I can do my morning routine and in my own, my house or whatever. And I know you get a lot done, obviously, on the physical side, eating, health. How has that been, with being, the nomad lifestyle and interrupting routines, setting up new ones, etc.?
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I think I'm also geared like that. When I used to go on vacation and say that my max was about 5 days. About day 5, I'd be like, all right, I'm ready to get home and get back into my routine. But I think looking back on it now, after having traveled full time for several months, I think it had more to do with the mindset that I had going into the entire trip itself. So if I'm changing up my environment and it's part of what I do all of the time, then it's no longer treating the trip as like this one-off vacation. So like usually I go on vacation, be like, all right, it's 7 days of vacation. I'm going to eat whatever I want, do whatever I want because it's vacation. I'm going to have fun. But then like 5 days in, I'm like, all right, I'm sick of eating all this junk food. I can't wait to get home and get back into my routine. But since I don't ever go back home to get into a regular routine, my regular routine has been built into, where I'm going. The only thing that changes is like minor changes, like now I'm using this bathroom and now I'm sleeping in this bed, but the major rocks, the big rocks, are still staying the same.
And so what's your end date for this whole world tour that you got going on here?
It's been 84 years. No, I don't know. We don't have an actual set end date. Originally, what
Really?
Tracy and I decided was we're going to do it for a year and then reevaluate to see if we wanted to do it for perhaps another year. And it hasn't been a year yet. So yeah, I don't know how long we'll do it for. We'll be coming back to the Pennsylvania area next summer, the summer of next year. And that's when we'll kind of sit down and be like, okay, do we want to hit the road again and check out some more places, or do we want to settle back down?
So maybe next year will be 2.0. You can go to like Europe and go to all these different countries.
Yeah, I've been trying to get
Greece.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a passport for my dog, but I can't figure out how to get a passport for my dog.
That's the only thing that's holding you back.
No, I'm just messing with you. Like, that's what's holding you back? I don't think your dog needs a passport. Like,
let's dive into that one. We can figure out a solution.
Yeah. No, so we'll come up with something. Part of a lot of the reason why we're doing it the way that we are doing it is because of the things that we have going on in our life. I mean, if we traveled to Europe right now, can you imagine, like, I would have to be working and my wife would have to be working probably at night most of the time in order to touch base with all of the people in the States during the daytime. Bringing a dog on, I don't feel comfortable putting my dog on the bottom of an airplane and shooting her ears out to get her over there. But I love Europe and that would be sweet. But well, Greg, I might give you my dog.
Cool. I'll take him. Her.
Yeah,
her.
So what did you do with your home back in Pennsylvania?
Greg knows all about this. So we are renting out our house. We don't have any intentions of moving back into that house. I just wanted to keep it as an asset. The rent, covers the mortgage, and then in, 10 years, the mortgage will be paid off, and that's just an asset that we have.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you.
So if you move back, right, if you choose it, this year is the only year, then you have to figure out what plan B is when you get back, huh?
Yeah, we have to figure out where do we want to actually settle down. Most of Tracy's family is in Pennsylvania now, so that would be like, if I had to make a decision today, that's where it would be. But then when it comes to like, well, where are we going to live? Well, we've got to buy another house then.
Or rent.
Rent. Yeah.
Just depends.
Yeah, it depends on how long we think we'll be there for. I'll tell you, we just got back from St. Simon's Island, Georgia. And if you haven't been there, you got to go. I think it is the coolest town I've been to in the last probably 2 years. Like, it's even cooler than Savannah and Tybee Island, in my opinion. It's really, really nice.
And you call it St. Simon?
St. Simon's Island in Georgia.
I don't think I've even heard of that.
Yeah,
I've heard of that, Greg?
About it. I have. I've never been, but I've heard people down here in the South, they talk about those islands off of Georgia and everything. So what made it so like cool and great?
Well, so like if if you like Spanish moss and big trees and you like the beach, like this island has it all. But it's also a very quiet, kind of peaceful island as well. Like it's got a big population, but it's a big island. So one of the things like with Tybee and Savannah is there's a lot of people there. It's very touristy. Now I'm sure St. Simon's Island is touristy as well, but it's not quite the same vibe. I think maybe I'm just an old person at heart. I shouldn't say older person at heart, but I think like the average age of St. Simon's Island's like 65. So it's like everybody there is real chill, you know, because everybody's kind of retired, I guess. It's like,
Nice. That sounds cool.
I want to retire next year and play golf all the time.
Yeah, I could see you doing that.
Yeah, playing golf.
In between recording all your videos.
Right. Yeah. My golf videos.
So you're going to Florida, and then what's are you planning on staying south? Obviously, we're getting into the fall time. Are you going to be? What's your plan with that? Do you guys have one? You're not going to come up north.
Well, so after Florida, we'll be spending the month of October in Mississippi, and it's nowhere Mississippi. Everybody always asks, "Oh, where are you going to Mississippi?" Like, you haven't heard of it. My wife wouldn't like if I told you where it was anyway. There's probably a population of 40 people. It's in the middle of nowhere, but I always wanted to go to Mississippi because it's like, how many people do you meet? And you're like, have you been to Mississippi? I'm like, well, no. Who goes to Mississippi? Like, I did. So we'll be in Mississippi in October. Then we'll be coming back up to Pennsylvania for Thanksgiving. And then December, we'll head out to Colorado to spend Christmas with my family, who all lives out in Colorado.
I don't think I knew that. I don't think I knew that they were from Colorado.
Yeah. Actually, I might see you on the way out there.
Through.
Yeah, I know. I'm 85% sure that I'm going to be making a pit stop in Des Moines, Iowa for a couple of days.
Well, I'm not near Des Moines, Iowa.
I thought you were.
No.
Oh.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Well, I know you're in Indiana, but look, man, those I states in the Midwest, they're all the same state. Let's be honest here.
Here we go. Midwest.
The mudslinging begins.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, but anyways, I don't even know what I'm going to say to that. Yeah.
Well, how far is
Iowa is
Yeah.
probably, I honestly don't know, 8 to 10 hours maybe.
Oh, yeah, that ain't close. Okay. Is that, but all right. So, all right, here we go. Displaying my ignorance. Like those states, like Iowa and Illinois and Indiana, like I always mess those up on the test because like now I know where Ohio is because it's next to Pennsylvania. I've lived in Pennsylvania for the last several years. I can't tell you which one comes next.
Indiana.
Oh, see, I thought Indiana was next to Iowa.
No, Illinois is next to Indiana and then Iowa.
Okay.
Actually, Missouri is next to Illinois.
We need like a color map here.
Wait a second. I thought Missouri was in the south. Are you kidding me?
Missouri is like just right west of Illinois.
I thought Missouri was below Kentucky. What's below Kentucky?
Tennessee. You were just in Tennessee.
I know. You're right. Yeah, that makes sense now.
I love it.
Oh, my wife would be so proud because she's the one who's terrible at geography.
Yes.
So you're running point on the geography, Justin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am. Where are we going today? Missouri,
like
right
we're going
below
to Jersey.
Kentucky. Yeah.
Jersey's like 2 days away. We're going
I know where
anyway.
I know where the East Coast states are, but those Midwest ones, man.
It's not that hard, man. Just give me a call. I'll hook you up. I'll let you at least know which state you're going to next.
Well, I might. All right. So now that I know where Indiana is on a map,
I-70 runs right through the heart of basically all those states, from Pennsylvania through Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, into St. Louis is where Missouri.
Okay.
But then it also will run you out to Denver. So I-70 will literally is east to west from East Coast, Pennsylvania-ish, all the way out to Colorado.
Does it take me through Des Moines?
Justin. Yeah.
No.
Oh, well.
Des Moines is north.
Can we change that?
Can you move to Des Moines, Randy? Can you?
Yeah, I guess. Well, do I need to fly to Des Moines to meet you? I mean,
well, no, I'm thinking I'll look at it. We'll get it hashed out here come November. But if I'm driving through all those states anyway.
We'll just catch you at a pit stop, right?
Yeah,
At the local gas station. And I just want to at least shake your hand, man.
Yeah,
And
grab a
meet you.
taquito and a hot dog and a slushie and call it a day.
Sounds like a
That's the
good meetup.
goal. Dan Armstrong got to meet you. I've got to at least meet you at least once. I can't believe you were able to meet Dan Armstrong before Greg or I.
Well, I know everybody who's tuning into this does not care about this kind of stuff, but this is what's on my mind. And if I don't ask it, I'll forget it, because I told you I forget everything 2 minutes after I hear it. How far is where you live from Pennsylvania? Is that a one-day drive?
Probably about the same in the opposite direction. And I'm guessing, it's probably 4, maybe 5 hours to the Pennsylvania state line. And then where are you at in Pennsylvania?
Yeah. I'm probably like 3 hours from Pittsburgh.
So, I mean, it's probably 8 to 10 hours would be my guess as a drive.
Well, there we go. So I'm going to drive when we leave to go to Des Moines. I'm going to drive somewhere, and then we'll make a one night stay near where you live, and we'll get to see you. And hey, if we do that, we can actually grab breakfast, and it doesn't have to be a taquito, a hot dog, and a slushie.
That's what I was looking forward to.
We could do a microwave burger if you want.
Yeah, we can do that too.
There you go. Upgrade.
There you go. Upgrade. Yeah. Well, I look forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. So, Greg, I know you got a hard stop here at the bottom of the hour, so I don't want to take any more of your time. But, guys, this has been fun for me. This is just kind of the idea. I just wanted it conversational. I want it to be somewhat educational, learning where our geography lesson was for the day.
Yeah, man. Well,
that's a lot of fun.
I feel enlightened.
I know us states here in the middle, right next to Missouri, is tough.
Yeah,
it is tough if you're not from there.
Yeah.
I never realized how tough it was.
It really is. You know,
all of my local friends will be laughing. I guarantee you.
Yeah,
because that's funny.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. So we'll talk about it as far as coming back and jumping on again in the future. Whether it's every couple of weeks or just we'll try to get some kind of a cadence with the schedule, so that way folks can kind of get an idea of when we'll be jumping back on. Questions, concerns, right? We can talk about launching podcasts. We can talk about building out a YouTube channel, building businesses, buying businesses. Greg and I have been digging into that space quite a bit over the last 12 months or so. But leaving your W-2 job, all of us are entrepreneurs at this point. We don't have a quote unquote W-2 job. So at the same time, if someone's looking to do those kinds of things, we can help with that. Anything, goals, personal nutrition and health. I mean, that's huge on your guys's, what you guys talk about a lot with your platforms. Your last episode with the carnivore. Oh
yeah,
carnivore diet.
That was awesome. That was fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So I would encourage anybody listening that isn't familiar with the All In Mindset podcast, go back and listen to that episode. It's just different information.
Yeah,
it's just different, and you might hear something that actually could absolutely change your life, which is super cool. Which is the goal for jumping on here with you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, well, thank you guys. This was fun.
Yeah, of course. This is a blast.
Leave us some comments, leave us some questions, and we'll look forward to coming back again sometime in the very near future.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Cool.